Now for the last look. If you were to ask most people what single figure comes to mind when they think of India, they would probably say without hesitation, Mahatma Gandhi. His successful resistance to colonial British rule, his insistence on non-violence, his championing of society's most vulnerable, all this is why he is known as the father of Indian independence. But even though Gandhi is a towering figure virtually synonymous with India abroad, in India itself, he is losing favor. This week was the 75th anniversary of his death, his assassination, by a member of the right-wing group, the RSS. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid tribute to Gandhi at his memorial in New Delhi to mark the occasion. But that gesture conceals a contentious attitude toward the famous freedom fighter on the part of Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party, which is itself an offshoot of the RSS. As the historian Ram Guha writes in the FT, that contentious attitude is born of the fact that the religious harmony that Gandhi preached is anathema to hardcore elements of the Hindu right, which seek to make India into a Hindu state. Though Gandhi was himself an upper caste Hindu, he celebrated the diversity of India, both its many languages and its many faiths. But the nation's current leaders sometimes seem to believe that Hindus deserve and ought to seize supremacy in a land in which they are the overwhelming majority. Take one example of the antipathy of the ruling political class toward the icon. Gandhi's killer, Nathuram Godse, has become for many a national hero. Numerous BJP lawmakers have publicly praised Godse, though party brass usually distance themselves from such comments. What the BJP has done is popularize competing figures in India's independence struggle, people who frontally challenge Gandhi's message. That includes men like Veer Savarkar, known as the father of Hindu nationalism. As Guha notes, he was a man who hated Gandhi and Muslims. He was also the ideological inspiration for Godse, Gandhi's killer. A previous BJP-led government hung a portrait of Savarkar in the Parliament building. Modi has bowed before it, saluting Savarkar for his undying love for India. This moment represents a sea change for Indian politics, which for most of its independent history has been heavily influenced by Gandhi and his ideas. But a militant Hindu right has popularized a muscular nationalism that looks down on Gandhi's insistence on nonviolence. They also hold him responsible for the partition of India and Pakistan and accuse him of being too willing to appease Muslims. Disinformation about Gandhi as an enemy of Indian Hindus circulates freely online. Posts accuse him of having urged Hindu women to cooperate with Muslim rapists, completely false, of course. Others suggest bizarrely that he was secretly working for the British. And while the 1982 loving biopic Gandhi, made by a Briton incidentally, was an international hit, today Indian filmgoers favor a more aggressive protagonist. Take last year's blockbuster RRR, one of India's highest grossing films ever. It's an action-packed buddy movie about two freedom fighters who take on the British in 1920s India. As the Washington Post notes, the closing song and dance number involves our protagonists singing about India's national heroes. Behind them, the faces of real-life freedom fighters appear. Missing from the montage is the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. Lest you think that's a mere oversight, the screenwriter, Vijendra Prasad, who developed the story for the film, told the Post, "The time has come to let Indians know the truth, the real warriors who should be honored. The real reason why we got independence was not because of Mr. Gandhi. That's the fact." Now, I'm all for subjecting hero worship to rigorous scrutiny, and many worthy historians have taken a very critical eye to Gandhi in recent years. All the same, we ought not to forget that Gandhi was genuinely a world historical figure, one who pioneered a strategy of nonviolence and transformed India's struggle for independence into a grassroots-based mass movement that inspired people everywhere outside of India, from Martin Luther King and Muhammad Ali to Nelson Mandela and Barack Obama. This is a man who took on the greatest empire in the world nonviolently and defeated it. In a country riven with divisions, he built a coalition that included and honored everyone. He was uncompromising about the need to reform inequities, such as India's caste system, renaming the lowest caste, often called untouchables, as children of God. He was passionate about bridging the Hindu-Muslim divide. In fact, he gave his life for it. People often describe Albert Einstein as the greatest genius of modern times. Time magazine named him Man of the Century. Well, Einstein kept a photograph of the Mahatma in his study, and on Gandhi's 70th birthday, gave his own assessment of the man and his place in history. Generations to come, it may be, will scarce believe that such a one as this, ever in flesh and blood, walked upon this earth.